told me to stay, but I should go. Or lead me astray when I'm home. 'Cause you got me in circles, and I just don't know what to do. Going back to the way we knew, we never really knew that you knew how. I'm sure that you felt before, and it never really had to doubt. But I hope, place in your heart, you saw special place in my heart.
I rose deep like the ocean, no hurry, no fuss, no commotion. My love, my devotion, rose deep like the ocean, rose deep like the ocean. The funk jazz style kind of motion, work split splatter. I look at her, feeling scattered, off it on a platter. Forget the letter, in the end, doesn't even matter.
Oh, I'm a stranger to the door. For two.
You're surprised every day. Ooh. I am like syrup every day, every day. My little Lolo. Yeah, that's all. I've been struggling for so long with my skin, trying to get it back up again. I get knocked down, and I get up again. You're never gonna give me Been trying. Been failing. On and on. Even the caveman regimen. Until finally I'm seeing results. Like, even when I look in the mirror, I'm like, isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she lovely? Isn't she just a beggar? She's looking so great and so lovely. I don't even know what to do. Isn't she lovely? Wonderful. Promise you, that song, it goes off in my head. Yeah, like I'm feeling what's going on with my skin. One of these days I'm gonna look like K-pop, not K-pop, but K-beauty. You know, Korea, how they do that like 28-step process. Is it 90-step? I don't know. Too many steps to handle, frankly. For beauty, yeah, I got like the SA like beauty, except SA sucks. This giant into killing people for fun because you love your Kurubila. Love your witches, you eh? So besotted with these random guys on the rooftops with brooms. At night when you're sleeping, they're like, sa 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 sa. And now leave me alone. Leave me alone. So I am like focusing this onionness that makes me smell gangster all day. I'm focusing it at where is that? My hyperpigmentation is at. And also my acne, it's like dry. Okay, just to explain to you what this onion has been doing, I think it's the onion. It could be the aloe, but you know, we don't know. But I saw onion do this on some other chick's skin, so it has dried out. It dries out the acne. Like, I don't know, like, it just goes all like Scopo, you know? Like, it's the first day of the next month, I'm gonna eat breakfast. Oh, it's been a minute. Oh. April Fools, guys. What was the joke? Fact that you're trying to leave me there, then kick me like a horse that's down. And I'm like, April Fools, I'm still alive. Okay, what comes after this monster? There's this aloe plant. I've decided that what I'm gonna do is pick like a plant and then use it for like over 2 or 3 days, because I mean, really, who wants to destroy their garden plants? You know what I mean? And secondly, sometimes I forget to get this before I shower, like after like exercise, and then I have to go out in the garden. So I'm looking all strange. I look like, you know, like a then you be seeing a chick all naked at the graveside. It's like, yo, snap, there's a ghost. Yeah, so don't want to be looking like no witch. I'm a Christian. What? Hey, So I need to like take this leaf. 1 minute. In the mornings, and then use it over 2 or 3 days, and make sure that I have a leaf in the mornings in here already, so that like at night when I'm done with my exercise, it's available, it's there, and I'm not having to go in the garden because I can't even see my bearings. Like I'm like chopping off a like plant, a piece of a plant, and that's just not kosher. Anyway, yeah, no, so let's just let that dry a little bit. No, but it feels like fully absorbed. That's the thing, it absorbs real fast into the skin, so this whole process is really helping. I did speak about it yesterday, so we're not gonna ramp too much about it. Not too much, just to speak about how I gotta wash that cat. I gotta wash my cat. I really like, I dread that. I dread it because the cat hates water. But she be looking all grimy like a grease ball, and I'm like, ew, gross. I'm finally just saying. But I'm only gonna do it on the weekend because I have to have time for it. It doesn't just take 5 minutes or something. Just feel like I say, no, like some people I know. Okay, this thing works. It's working. My skin is glowing so very much. Like a moisturizer. That's creamy for my hands. It's glowing so very, very much. Like goodness, like shockingly, when I look in the mirror, I'm like, ooh, mind because the onion is as drying as it is. I can talk housing. You know, like when like old acne is starting to like peel off and it looks like kind of dry and scaly and kind of gangster looking. Yeah, whole dry like that. Yeah, dry stuff. Flaky. It's all flaky. So I would need a little bit more moisture, but I am not comfortable yet to put more oil on my face because I am still an oily skin type. So to combat that dryness, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm tempted of adding a small little amount of cream, like what's on my hands right now, just kind of dab it on my face, like dab it, you know. So I'm not too dry because I don't want to wake up with that situation, because dry skin will only exacerbate a problem. It'll only exacerbate an acne issue, and we don't want that. Anyway, so how do I keep my hands looking young? I moisturize with just regular cream, and then I seal it with Vaseline Grace. It's what you do. So anyway, yeah, I really can't wait. I'm trusting, I'm hoping that within, I mean, this pimple over here is brand spanking new, right? It like rocked up this week. The pimple, I don't know nothing about their life. I don't know nothing about their life. I don't know nothing about their life. I don't know nothing about their life until now. Anyway, whatever. So I get a bit of wacky about pimple, like why? So who does that? Anyway, until it became me. You know? Anyway, righto. So just where's my libello? No, you know what? Like, we're not doing this. I hate this. Like, I hate it. This freaking environment is so tiny. Oh man. Seriously, who wants ashy lips? And I'm probably not gonna find it very easily. Anyway, whatever. Found it, and it was actually quite easy. My lip therapy. Since we're out of labello, let's hit some Vaseline on there first. That's what happens when I put moisturizer on my lips. It's like a jam in the background, like an orchestra symphony, like maybe a violin, add a little bit of a harp here and there, and then just kind of like sway left to right, like it's so therapeutic. Anyway, moving on. It's cathartic, you guys. Cathartic. Totally cathartic. So that's how I be keeping my lips looking young, just in case yours be looking all ashy, greasy, snoxy, and I don't know, old. Bash them with some Vaseline and a violin in the background. It'll pay! I got away with murder, no scandal. Hit the violin and violas. But with me, it's I got Vaseline and some lip therapy. Hit the violin and violas. Know what I mean? Anyway, yeah. This pimple over here was here on the face of the Kurazias. This is the last day. It's just like Friday, guys. I'm not ready to take it out because I'm busy. I'm working. I gotta like do a full day and everything. God, but this is the last day. Like, enjoy it. This hair that don't move, enjoy it. It's the last day of its life. Because I'm going to something more the YouTube about because that's important, right? You gotta know when the world is going on, so as to figure out where we find ourselves in light of Bible prophecy. Because we be out of here in a minute. 4 horsemen of the apocalypse be like, hey, for you, like, move out the way, Christians. Move out the way while I handle these randos that think that you can go and say a man is a woman and a woman is a man. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, let me not say stuff now. I'm gonna say what I want to say. censor me or block me or do what you want to, I will come back anyway. Is what I do. Anyway, enjoy that too. Can like enjoy this nasty. Cause it's the last day here in town. You better give it a hug, give it a kiss goodbye, do what you need to do. But it's over. You foresee like this, share my protective styles. I'm that girl, I don't just do no nasty little thing on my head cause I can. This here is a thing in my body. It earned, it new, it different. Oh my god, it's not really what I'm about. I ain't about that life. Let me cover my condolences. Yeah, let me do that. It's not about that life. Like I kid you not, my life thing. I'm that chick with protective style. Possess. It's just that this time around I had leftover hair and I was like, let's not waste and laugh, you know. And then I put the stuff on my hair and I was like, oh man, sometimes you know when there's no way to stop, you must just quit when it's time to quit, you know. Just give up. But by then I was already done. I already crocheted the monster in. I'd already done what needed to be did. And I was like, yeah, you see it, like, 2 months, okay. Now I look like a scarecrow. Everybody be like, yo, girl, yeah, man, life slapped you, didn't it? I can tell by the look in your hair. Look in my hair. Come here with your rubbish, you're not insensitive. Anyway, this pimple. Been trying to talk about this pimple for a minute. Been trying to talk about this pimple. This gusha, this is what I'm going to be using next time instead of cornrowing to experiment. I did let you guys know that yesterday. What I mean, Oscar breaker haki luha, because we actually trying to do length retention. Her original spot Tina Turner, rolling with the homies, ding. Since we be actually in these streets once upon a time, be with Ike. You know what I mean? Anyway, cool. So sister that used to be with Ike needs to come back on some what's love got to do with it. That's what's good. No, I never used to date an abusive guy, just in case you're wondering. There are different kinds of abuse. And I haven't been in the dating game for a minute. I'm Jolene Giraffe plans relaxing. Jolene J, I got a bunch of to get out about yo, I'm seeing to have a day. What do you think this is 1998? Relax. I'm a Christian, I don't quarrel again. Can't get consumed. No. Moving on. Get a ring my life pimple. Honing, get a pimple. Honing, my skin. It don't move. My skin, it don't move. My skin, it don't move. My skin, it don't move. My skin. Kaya improvement. Improvement basically bona. Pimple in just to give you a little bit of a synopsis of my hyperpigmentation when it's all up in my grill. It be looking black like my hair, and I'm like, who wants to do that? There? Who? Ayo Nahim was here on. When did I get off my period? Just a couple of days ago. Like, yeah, I came, I think, as a result of my period. And, you know what, I don't usually get hormonal acne up here. I get, like, yeah, if I get it. Like I said, pimples. What is that? I don't know it. I mean, it just decided to come and sit in my life like some people. I don't want them here, though. So when I do get these uninvited ones, deep lump on my hair somewhere. Here, put my hair. And I'm like, watch me kick you out. Get the whole bonsai flames. Anyway, whatever. So this one just rolled up here around my period, which ended about a week ago. And usually when I've got pimples that size, when they fade, they leave such a terrible night, taking all of its time to fade. It doesn't even fade by the time my next period cycle comes and I get new hormonal acne. So basically, I'm living like a polka dotted woman. It's my face that's wearing a teeny weeny incy bincy yellow polka dot bikini. And I'm like, now I'm afraid to come out of the water. Cause I'm wearing the skimpy little number. Everybody be like, girl, it's okay. And I'm like, no, I am wearing too much of a teeny weeny incy pincy yellow polka dot bikini that I wore for the first time today. But instead of it being around my bum, it's on my face. And it's not yellow polka dots, it's black ones, all melanated. Because their name a hyperpigmentation nini, and I do not like it for a day. My face is wearing a black polka dot bikini, so I'm afraid to come out of the water. Anyway, whatever. Cool beans and bananas. So granted that like it leaves all this hyperpigmentation and it sticks around until forever. I kid you not, it takes so long for it to fade. I really can't afford to get new randoms on my face. So please, like, no. Godwa, Lena, rocked up. Like I said, I just got off my period a week ago. And it was new about a week ago. It's also all dried out. It's like totally getting flat. Like there's nothing still growing, bubbling, and all nasty. And for the color that it is, huge pioneering type results. It's a massive groundbreaking result because It's like whatever the melanocytes underneath my skin were doing in wreaking havoc and melanating extra over and above my dark chocolate skin, that section, whatever it is, there has been a reduction of melanocyte production. Something called an enzyme, that is tyrosinase, which is derived from tyrosine, which is the contributor to the production of additional melanin when you are in the sun, when also you have been afflicted by some kind of inflammation. So in other words, somebody decides to bust a cap in your knee or punch your face or scratch your forehead. What happens is you get this mark that tends to, if you're a black girl, cause a dark mark, but it happens in every girl. It's just that the white girl's melanin production makes life red, but the black girl's melanin production makes life black. It makes it super duper dark. So our dark skin, our dark spots are really dark. And so basically, if at all you want to inhibit tyrosinase, which is derived from this enzyme called tyrosine, hormone called tyrosine, while the tyrosinase is an enzyme. If you want to restrict it, tyrosinase is what contributes to the production of additional melanin. It creates these, like at a place, a site of inflammation. So inflammation is any kind of hyperactive, like energy of pain in your body. A pimple is a site of inflammation. A scratch is a site of inflammation. A bullet wound, site of inflammation, rushes to cause a scar. That's the body's natural immune response. And what creates dark skin, or the dark spot, or the dark scar, is an overproduction or a production by your body of melanin. It just magnifies it to sort of kind of seal that wound. And this whole process is via tyrosine, the enzyme of which is called tyrosinase. And this enzyme called tyrosinase, believe me, man, I get to do this, okay? This enzyme called tyrosinase is basically what manufactures a whole chunk of melanin in your skin, and it is infused quite a lot by whatever in the world under heaven you're eating. So if there's like a high level of inflammation in your body because orada slap chips or something, and there's no way for all of this like trans fat stuff to go, so it just causes your body to be like, I'm just gonna make inflammation, you're gonna like get dark marks on your face. If you're in the sun, that is a form of inflammation coming from the outside. It is burning. It's gonna make your dark marks darker. And if you keep on being like, and then out comes the pus, you're adding more inflammation to that side. So tyrosinase is going to be magnified at that joint, and it's called a melanocyte because it is a site of melanin production, and it's in everybody's skin. Not just black people, guys. We're not the only ones that have melanin. Anyway, anywho, so this like tyrosinase guy, because you eat all those trans fats and because you just absolutely adore to fuel your body with nothing but junk, you're gonna get darker hyperpigmentation. You're also gonna get what do you call this thing? And if you like poke and prod away at your pimple, it's also going to manufacture. Basically, if you increase inflammation, it's going to increase melanocyte activity. So with these like skin treatment creams, these like hyperpigmentation dealer creams, these creams that deal with dark marks, basically, that deal with chloasma, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, what they do is not only fast track the process of your skin regeneration so that you can release new skin faster, they also inhibit tyrosinase. You can inhibit tyrosinase internally by eating better, the enzyme that is. If you eat better, if you work out, if you do all these excellent things for yourself, there will not be as much inflammation in your body, and so the probability or propensity for melanocyte production by tyrosinase will be lower. Okay, that's the first thing. However, if you are kind of like, no, sorry, I'm gonna eat icodayam. If you want to eat icodayam or whatever, do you? But just make sure you don't get new acne. There is a way to inhibit tyrosinase locally or topically. In other words, you don't have to do it from the inside out, even though it's ideal. You know what I mean? So then these, what do you call them? Like skin lightening creams. What they do basically, not skin lightening, like spot lightening. Don't lighten your skin. That stuff ages people. I kid you not. Now only go and look at these celebrities who have lightened their skin, who have made themselves yellow bones when they were once yellow bones, because they literally go from yellow bone to much more yellow. Doesn't even make sense. Anyway, whatever, they age so fast. So there's nobody in the beauty or cosmetics industry that wants to release these facts. Mara, you see it for yourself. You see it for yourself. I don't want to be calling nobody name out, but you see it for yourself. Oromoto has aged significantly ever since getting your skin white. So skin lightening cream, stop in the name of love. There's a difference between a skin whitening cream and a post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation cream, like a dark spot dealing cream. Huge difference. The one changes your complexion altogether, makes you look like a white chick, and the other one just goes and removes the dark spots that are there because of inflammation. So what these dark spot removing creams or treatments, sometimes it's a serum, whatever, what they do is inhibit tyrosinase, right? So you can create tyrosinase inhibition in the body through food, or you can it should rather be as opposed to or you can inhibit it via the application of tyrosinase inhibitors on the face. And the way that they work is basically to reduce the amount of the enzyme that is tyrosinase that is produced in the body as an immune response to a site in your face that has inflammation. So the inflammation is there, the immune system must indeed kick into act so that you can, get drained of all of that pain in your face. Mara, you want to reduce the thing that melanates you a lot in that area, the darkening of that spot. You want to reduce that. So the tyrosinase inhibition is the inhibition not so much of your immune response to heal from a pimple, but the inhibition of the colorizing of your site, the darkening of that environment. It functions by reducing the number or the amount or the percentage of tyrosinase that is in your skin. It inhibits tyrosinase, and then over and above inhibiting tyrosinase, it also cell turnover, fast tracks it. So new skin can pop up real fast, and then there are those creams that then also lighten where it is that it's been darkened. The environment that has been darkened, it lightens it as well. That's what these creams do. So there's quite a few recommendations on the market, which I personally can't afford. Frankly, I'd love to get me some Arbutin. I'd love to get me some kind of an AHA or BHA. Mandelic acid or glycolic acid or salicylic acid, which you find it in a lot of the cheaper over-the-counter products that are for acne. But my experience with it is that it's taken me the same amount of time to fade my acne, whether or not I'm using a face wash or salicylic acid. So you need like some of the hard knock stuff in order to get rid of, if you're struggling like I am. Some things work, some things do not work. The best thing for me is to just not get acne at all. So I have discovered, haven't given you that little ridiculous lesson, but whatever, what I'm discovering with this onion, because I've tried it all, an excellent tyrosinase inhibitor and an excellent skin lightener. And by lightener, I'm not speaking whitening, I'm meaning fading off hyperpigmentation. It evens out your skin tone. I found that apple cider vinegar has worked very well for me in the past. 1 part apple cider vinegar with 2 parts water. That's worked for me before, but I don't have ACV at present, and that's been the one thing that I have been like, okay, I need that, but I don't have it. So I went on YouTube, and I've been getting advice by these YouTube people. There's like literally every hack under heaven, and I'm like, yo guys, this is trials, okay, asking more breakout foods because we're trying it all. So what I did was choose one at a time, because I've learned my lesson from over trying everything. Some people say use potato because it's like Faust in salicylic acid. Well, I've used salicylic acid in products and it hasn't really worked for me. So that's why I kind of like steer clear from salicylic acid. Now, instead of trying to find what in the world is a constitution of onion, I've just decided to try it anyway because I saw it working on this one lady. But just based on my understanding nutritionally, I think it is sulfur, right? MSM, it's like really good for hair. That's why people put onion juice on their hair. But sulfur also has these antifungal properties, and that it gets rid of what would be fungal acne. It's not really acne. They call it Malassezia folliculitis or Pitysosporum folliculitis, but for the sake of just, let's just not get complicated and technical. It's called fungal acne, but it's not really acne. So basically, it's not produced bacterially like the rest of the acne on your face, which is from P. acnes bacteria. This is a fungal issue that is as a result of whatever causes fungi in the body. So if your count of probiotics is very low, you're gonna get fungal acne all up in your girl. What do you call this? Things like yogurt, if you can afford to, like a really good probiotic will go a long way. But stuff that messes up your internal system in terms of fungi, it's sugar. Like, okay, look, I'm not saying stop eating whatever, but you know how sometimes after eating a whole bunch of bread, which is like high in yeast, it's high in yeast, and you will then like get like vaginal thrush, like your vagina will itch, like literally, okay? That problem, if it gets exacerbated, can cause bumps on your face that aren't actually acne. And the thing about thrush type acne or yeast type overdrive in your body is that the thing that cures it, that heals it, if you've got yeast and you go to a gynae or whatever for your thrush issue, they will likely prescribe you something that is antifungal. And if you're going to be taking it topically as opposed to it being like one of those douche things that you put after up your you-know-what, it will likely be rich in probiotics, because there is a certain kind of I believe probiotics are like a byproduct of it's like good bacteria, basically. That's what probiotics are. It's good bacteria, and good bacteria helps deal with the fungi in your body, the excessive amount of it, so that you don't get those funny little patches of dry skin that are bumpy. It can be all over your body, but a lot of us struggle with it on the face. It's exacerbated by oils, which is why I'm careful with oils, because in order for fungi to thrive, it needs to be in an environment that's ensconced with moisture and darkness and dampness, and it must all be clogged behind that environment, and oil does an excellent job to clog stuff. So that's why I was very careful with coconut oil, because I do have the yeast issue type thing. Like, I try not to eat that much bread as a result. And the thing about that is, when then a gynae prescribes to you, or a doctor, to deal with a yeast overdrive, they will tend to put you on probiotics, which will help eradicate the situation. But acne, real acne, as in proper pimple acne, pus type vibes, that stuff, and it's not uniform. It can be different colors, it can be cystic, it can be ridiculous, it can leave this. Yeah, okay, that acne operates with it's bacterial. It's bacterial, and it's bad bacteria. It's not probiotic, good bacteria. And so because it's bad bacteria, the way that they deal with it is using an antibacterial, like benzoyl peroxide or like a pill that you pop or whatever. They use an antibacterial, and so because they use an antibacterial, an antibacterial does not discriminate. You know, it's a lover of everybody in the body that is a bacteria. It just goes and deals with them. You know, like hey, boom, gah. That's the deal. So if you take antibiotics for your like thrush issues or whatever, not thrush, sorry, but for whatever, like if you go on a course of antibiotics, cause autoimmune flu or whatever, and you conquer that flu, you might just come out on the other side with like some fuzzy stuff on your face. Fungal acne, if you've got a yeast overdrive, it'll bring that on, because the thing that deals with fungal acne is good bacteria, and antibiotics kill all bacteria. And so if there's no good bacteria to combat the yeast overdrive in your body, then it's just you're gonna get thrush. That's why when you get on antibiotics, the doctor, the gynae, if at all they're considerate, will tend to ask you if at all you struggle with thrush or like any kind of fungal issue, and they will alongside it give you something to circumvent or to add or to help you buffer the blow of the destruction of all your good bacteria in your body, because you know they don't discriminate, these antibiotics. So you might get a worsened condition. It is therefore very important to identify what kind of acne you have on your face, because if you use an antibacterial treatment on your skin when you've actually rather got fungal acne, it'll exacerbate the problem. It'll make it worse because it's going to kill the probiotics in your body that are helpful to deal with fungal acne. But also if you so basically if you've got like fungal acne, you need to make sure that you're dealing with something that is sulfur rich. Sulfur is an antifungal agent, and it also has to be high in probiotics. But if you've got regular acne that, goodness gracious, whatever, pop the pus out, okay, that stuff you need an antibiotic for it. Well, carabo. Can a girl have more problems? Like, why? Why is this my life? There was a season when I struggled with both fungal acne. Hey, leave me alone, sit in your lane, please. Hey. Fungal and regular acne. So basically, I couldn't just indiscriminately use an antibacterial. I needed to find an antifungal. And is a problem for me. I also can't be seen, no dermatologist. I know all the stuff, guys. Because I've been trying to self-medicate, self-diagnose, all of these things that I got problems with in life. So I'm just like studying wherever it is that I can find an article online or a video on the tube machine as to how to fix my life when I've got a combination of P. acnes bacteria as well as a Pitysosporum folliculitis or Malassezia folliculitis, otherwise known as fungal acne. How do I deal when I've got both of these disasters on my face? Hey, but there was a time when I looked like sandpaper on the face. I line. You know, sandpaper, you know how it is, go like, it scrapes off your skin. My face looked like sandpaper, it felt like sandpaper, so much texture, and every so often there were pimples as well. So I had both a combination of fungal acne and regular acne. I was like, do I look like a teenager, me struggling with these things like I'm in high school? I couldn't deal, prayed about it, cried, all that jazz. And the Lord gave me grace to study. So the studies have then made me investigate, interrogate what I can find cheaply in my environment to try and combat. And so, having said that, guys, allow me to help you understand just how groundbreaking and pioneering my skincare routine actually is presently, because I am using a combination of everything. I am my own dermatologist now. Look at me smile. Am I not lovely? With barely any acne. Hey, bacho. Listen, and it's fading. I was so desperate at some point that I even went to caveman regimen. The caveman regimen is basically using nothing on your face but water, hoping that your acid mantle is going to reset or something, and that you're going to be just cool. Like, apply like you just wash your face with water and you apply no moisturizer, nothing. That magnified my fungal acne, and I can understand why, because with oily skin like mine, if you're just washing your face with water, rinsing it with water only, your oils on your skin just kind of stay there and nothing removes them. And so that was the disaster on my face. It was like singing a song. So I got off that regimen and then I tried regular soap on my face. Yes, I did that. As in Lux bar soap, not even Dove. That had to stop. I wanted to stop using benzoyl peroxide because I don't have sunscreen and that stuff can be quite harsh. So I was using benzoyl peroxide cream on my face every day, but without sunscreen that stuff can worsen your life. It can worsen the hyperpigmentation if you walk up and down. So what is my sunscreen? This shade, I just duck the sun, like it's a basic, right? And I'm mostly indoors anyway, so I already have too much of a problem. But the secondary SPF damage that can come into your environment just from the fact that a space is too hot and too warm, and this environment is quite warm sometimes. So since I realized that benzoyl peroxide is excellent, it's a great antibacterial to deal with acne, but you have to use it with SPF, and you also have to make sure that you are like mostly just not in the sun type thing with it. So I was like, okay, this thing has worked for me. I know that it works, and I had benzoyl peroxide. It was what I was using just after losing everything, and it was just keeping my skin clear. But then I started breaking out again. Pimples, what did that be? I don't know what that that is until I start knowing what that is. Like, anyway, whatever. So benzoyl peroxide worked, but then I discovered a secret. That there is a way to put benzoyl peroxide on your face without leaving it on your face. The wash, as opposed to the cream. The wash is available as well at Discam, and it lasts like a long amount of time. Type establishment thing. It's a wash, so you wash it off, meaning that the benzoyl peroxide doesn't stay on your face, but it does its job during the time when you're washing your face. So I decided that how about we just wash the face with benzoyl peroxide and then not put anything that reacts with the sun on the face during the day time thing. Anything with an active in it, frankly, is not safe to, like, you know, be in the sun without sunscreen. And so be like salicylic, anything, any AHA, any BHA, any active at all. You probably should just like not be doing that. So how do I combat the fact that I can't afford sunscreen? I'm grateful that I'm a melanated woman, and so for those reasons my skin doesn't age very quickly. But the way then to make sure that I still get these things on my face that treat acne is to go natural, because things that are natural are with very little side effects type thing. They barely produce adverse reactions in you. And so because they barely produce adverse reactions, I was like, okay, let me try the whole natural movement. Frankly, I'd much rather go and buy something off the store because I trust it. It's been recommended by a dermatologist, so these guys studied for like ever and a day, and they know what they're talking about, but I don't have those liberties as at present. So how about I become my own dermatologist at home? So I tried everything. I went egg mask, and it works beautifully. Like egg white, antibacterial. Egg yolk, super moisturizing, anti-aging, like, yeah, once a week. I did it just last week. It sloughs off the dead skin cells, therefore fast-tracking cell regeneration, and it deals with acne type thing. I tested it in the past, it worked, but I was using it every day, and somewhere along the way, like after day 3, I started to burn, like my face was burning. Why is my face burning? From just an egg. That's how much it works. So I decided that I'm going to stop using it daily and just use it once a week. And isn't she lovely? Isn't she what? Literally egg white followed by egg yolk. Maybe when I do it this Sunday I will show it to you, but for now, why not? Okay, type thing. Then not Sunday, Saturday, depending, because I want to do my hair. I can't focus on all of these things at the same time. Alrighty, who beans manon? So that was that, right? And then benzoyl peroxide. Salicylic acid is an active as well. Operates by also sloughing away dead skin cells. So I've got this Garnier face wash with like pumice beads in it. It's like a 3-in-1 mask. Like it's a blue and white like a tube. Find it, okay? Yeah, that Garnier, I bought that, right? As well as the benzoyl peroxide. There's only one by Galderma from Benzag. And what I do first is I wash my face just with the benzoyl peroxide for the antibacterial properties. And then I follow it up while I'm in the shower, or, well, actually, this morning I forgot the first step, but it's cool. I then squeeze benzoyl peroxide into my face again, a pea-sized, and then a pea-sized as well of the salicylic acid face wash too, and I mix them together, right? What am I trying to do in putting the salicylic acid face wash as well? It's because I want the active properties, the tyrosinase inhibition that comes with salicylic acid, because it is a BHA. Well, some people say it's not a beta-hydroxy, whatever it is, but it does have power to lighten skin. I mix them together. It's also very exfoliating. That's another thing that I like it for. It exfoliates definitely, even though I have not seen personally the results of it fading my dark spots. I don't think it works very quickly, but it does leave my skin feeling very smooth. Baby bottom, y'all. Ooh, leaves my skin feeling smooth. So I put that on. Paste in my hand around my eyes and whatnot, and then I bath wash my body, like the whole body, and then when I'm done washing the body I rinse it off, and that's what I do twice a day. In the mornings I'm not showering, I'm just washing the face. So what I do is I brush my teeth, put it on my face, sit down, pee, do what a girl needs to do first thing in the morning after waking up, empty the body, and then wash my face after that. So I basically let it sit on my face for a season, however long, and then I wash it off. That is why I let it sit. It's so that the actives can operate, so that benzoyl peroxide can, like, really just get in there and get out the bacteria, wreak havoc and punch it. WWE wrestle it down, and then I don't have an active on my face because I've washed them off. So I don't have to deal with the challenges of sunscreen being unavailable in my life. And then that's where then the natural products that do not react so viciously on the face as those that you buy off the store that can be a little bit harsher, that's where they come in, right? The onion is very high in sulfur, and I don't know what else is in this stuff, but I would imagine that since sulfur is as combative of fungi as it is, I don't know if you guys have noticed how it is that you can chill an onion outside of fridge for 30 weeks and you will go and get it and it's still looking cool. You know what makes it have that life, that shelf life, why it chills so healthy in comparison to other fruit or veggies. Like, you can't do that with a tomato. Go back to it after 3 weeks and it's like, and mold, lots and lots of mold on it. Any fruit, like, really frankly, just leave any fruit out for a minute outside, you know, in the sun, in a dark environment, a cool one, it doesn't matter. But after just like 2 or 3 days, it's like, oh God, somebody help. Yeah, no, God, and it's all moldy, but that don't happen with onion. It's the weirdest thing. It just does not happen with onion, and the reason why that is the case is because of the high amount of antifungal power inside onion as a result of the MSM, the sulfur. And that's why it's so good for your hair. Don't move. It's stank though. It's not only antifungal, but it's also antibacterial. But it's the most impactful, so kind of like pack a punch vibe is the antifungal properties of it. So it belongs there for a minute for those reasons, because self fungi. It fights against fungi in and of itself as a going concern, right? So that then is just an impactful bounce in your face with a natural shelf life that can like give a lot of these products a run for their money in the market. It packs it in, therefore meaning that it's very powerful to deal with fungi. Onions are powerful to deal with fungi, which is why I eat them like a monster. I used to hate onions because, I mean, what, right? Like, first of all, they smell nasty, and okay, fine, so they taste kind of sweet, but I think the smell just makes everything kind of rough for the onion. But I eat them now because you need sulfur in your body to grow hair. It enables the health, it elongates the telogen phase of your hair, which is the hair growth phase of your hair, and keeps your strand really healthy so that it doesn't break as much, and so therefore you retain more length and body. That is what MSM does. Like, people who take MSM pills, their hair grows and their nails, but if they get off them, their hair starts to fall off, which is why I prefer to go the natural route, because if you stop eating onion, your hair doesn't start to fall off, but if you stop taking MSM, your hair starts to fall out, type thing. And it also operates from the inside to combat high levels of yeast. Like, if you struggle with a yeast overdrive, if you love your bread, like if you just cannot stay away from bread, like, try and eat as much onion as you can, one a day. Frankly, it's what I do. Barbara cooks a lot with onion, but not only that, when I'm about to make breakfast now, I eat my omelet in the morning with a chunk onion, and when you cook it, the smell goes away. It kind of like gets rescued, and so that your hands don't smell every day from chopping onion, I bank it. I chop it already, like at the beginning of the week, and then I bank it in a situation in the refrigerator. You know how it does not age very quickly, its shelf life is very long, onion, and then I just kind of take a scoop of it every time when I make it with my omelet. But I haven't been doing that for the past month because I haven't been eating breakfast for the past month because I've been fasting. But today we've broken off fast, yay, it's the first day we're done, type thing. So I'm gonna be back to eating that like voluminous breakfast because I eat a lot in the morning in order to fuel my exercise later, so I can beat up at the people. It's been very hard to work out this month because I haven't had that fuel at the beginning of the day. I've had zero energy, but I'm back, yeah. Ooh, literally it works so well. Anyway, whatever. Rhino, beans and bananas. So eat the onion and it'll antifungal from the inside, and it's a natural antifungal, so therefore it will barely have any side effects unless you're allergic to it or whatever. Put it in your salads. Eat as much as you can. Like, literally strive to eat an onion a day. Mara, if it's a little bit too intense, then eat two onions onion a day, because you can, it's possible. I mean, in your omelet, in your dinner, on your pizza, you can totally like scatter it throughout the day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can, unless you're one of those people that be like, onion, I tried that. Not only will you cry like a monster, but it's so bitter and it sits here and it stays in your mouth for a day. So cook it so as to reduce the potency of it. It's extremely potent, but the potency of it's like, I promise you, a miracle veggie. I don't even know why it has not made it on a superfood list yet. It's not, like, literally, defies me, goes over my head. So what it does is deal then from the inside of your body with fungi, and the best way to deal with fungi is to try and get it from inside, because dealing with it topically when you do have actual acne can be very, very difficult, because you know how antibiotics also cause it. They magnify the situation. So the way then that you can reduce the level, like if for instance you're on antibiotics, if you eat onions, they will operate as an antifungal in your body, in spite of the fact that the antibiotics are killing your probiotics. So onions help sort of kind of balance it out. That's why I'm pro onion. It's my best friend now, even though I used to pick it out of my food once upon a time. Now I'm like an onion gum styler. Okay, so eat it in order to reduce the amount of fungi in your body. Eat healthily, just period, in order to reduce the level of inflammation in your body so you don't get acne. And eat healthily as well, so that you don't have to deal with all these other like complications that come with just eating badly. But onions, kill it with it. In a minute, it'll give you life. Anyway, whatever. So then that's the onion. And then topically, I figured that since the stuff, the reason why I eat a whole bunch of onion, I'm trying to get my hair grown, guys. But I'm understand that I'm doing a lot, and one day maybe I will come and chat about the hair again, because I talk about it a lot. So among the things that I incorporated to try and grow my hair from the inside, I need that MSM, I need the sulfur in order to keep my hair strands strong, my hair in the telogen phase, my hair thicker, like, yeah. And by the way, onions are Ayurvedic as well. They fall within the Ayurvedic medicinal purposes like category, and Ayurvedic anything will like kill it in the hair for you. But I'm a massive pro of ingestion more than a topical application, because then you're dealing with stuff from the inside, and I'm saying That if you're having a bad day and you're too lazy to do like a whole hair 5-step, 10, 20-step process, you've eaten right. Like, don't nobody get lazy to eat. Okay, I know there are people who get there when you're too busy. But eating is just something that we do daily without even thinking, right? So whereas you gotta have the energy and all that jazz. So if you eat, then even if you like mess up your wash day or whatever, it's still growing. So, you know what I mean? Anyway, whatever. So the onion works on my face as well as my hair. I have not been eating enough of it the past month because I've been fasting, but it's still going back now, and I'm saying, hey, alrighty, so that's what's good. So that is what the onion does internally, and then topically, it then operates. I was so ambivalent about using onion on my face because, yeah, you know what I mean? But I was like, I'm desperate. I had just come off the caveman regimen, and after coming off the caveman regimen, I didn't do anything other than just wash my face with regular soap and moisturize with some random regular moisturizer that was around. And my skin, oh my goodness, yes, I did fade some of the roughness on my skin, the texture that came, it came with acne, like some very hard knock bumps, and I'm like, I'm not used to them, man. So I was like, okay, I need to be serious type thing. So I went back to my salicylic acid face wash with the benzoyl peroxide method that I have just described to you now, and then I decided to go on the internet again because I've been DIYing for so long, trying to see what to do for my skin, and I was like, okay, let me try something I haven't tried, and let me also use something that has historically proven to be effective. And so I went back to my face mask and my Mara. I've made it a once a week thing as opposed to daily because that hurt me in the past to use it daily. I remember that I've got aloe in the garden, like abundant amount of aloe vera in the garden, and that can be used for my hair as well as for my face. And then I was like, okay, let me try onion. I wanted to try potato, but there were no potatoes. Literally, it was between tapule and onions. And frankly, I would have gone for potato. No, I wouldn't have gone for potato. Why? Because potato, you can't put it on your face and leave it on because it leaves that starchy texture on your face. I wanted something that I could use as a toner. So I think I also chose onion for that, but also there were no potatoes. Apparently potatoes are also really excellent at fading dark spots, but I know the reason why that's the case is because potatoes are a powerhouse when it comes to salicylic acid, but salicylic acid, like I said before, has not really done very much for me. So I was like, let me then try sulfur, let me try whatever in the world is inside onion. Just 1 week. I'm only gonna use it for a week. If it doesn't work, it's not worth my time or my sadness and my sorrow to reek like an onion. Like, it's not worth it, right? That's what it is that I'm thinking. And it's been like, I'm headed for a week. It's Friday today. I think it's Saturday or Sontaha. And within 3 or 4 days, I was like, and I've never seen those kinds of results. Not only did it eradicate, do you know the texture in fungal acne? Those tiny little dots gone within 2 or 3 days, all of it. From coming from phase ridiculous fungal acne when I was on the caveman regimen. That is gone, but not only is that gone, like I said, I also just come out of my period, and this time around with my period, I just got these ridiculous amounts of pimples coming on my cheeks. Yeah, that's wrong. I don't know these things in my life. They be rocking up all over Sunday trying to make a friend, and I'm like, I don't like you though. Like, I don't understand where in the world. Like, this acne must be stress. I don't know, cortisol wreaking havoc. But I got so much acne this past period cycle, and I was expecting it to fade normally the way that my acne fades over like 10 years. And within, like I said, my period ended just about like a week ago, right? And on the day that I started my face care, it was, I think, my first day off my period officially. It would have taken about a week and a bit for my pimples to flatten out after my period, right? It happened within 2 to 3 days. I am not lying. It happened within 2 to 3 days to flatten. I still can't believe it. I don't want to touch my face because I'm transferring bacteria back on there, but I literally cannot believe how much this acne has flattened out that was on my cheeks within 2 to 3 days. And I don't know whether to accrue it to the aloe or the onion, but that is what changed. That is what changed, right? So I imagine what's actually going down is onions, is blossoming, you know, like flattened to the ground. The fungal acne, the yeast overdrive that causes texture, you know, those small little bumps all over the show. Now, aloe vera is a hard knock antibacterial. It is an excellent humectant. Humectants are a category of moisturizers or products on your face that retain moisture in your skin, in the sense that they draw moisture from the environment, so they will either draw moisture from your skin or from above your skin. So if you put a nice occlusive on your face, something that has, you know, moisture in it, like a moisturizer, a cream moisturizer or an oil, the humectant will continue to draw moisture from the sky. It will continue to draw moisture from your skin, like from the moisture that you put on your skin type thing. And if you live in an environment that is moist, like then it'll draw moisture from there. Mara, if you put a humectant on your face, one, which is what I used to do with the aloe vera, I made a mistake and it caused me to break out. During a very dry season, it was still summer, right? And our summer can be very dry here in Joburg. And I started to break out because it was drawing moisture from inside the laga. I'm very oily, and so I found myself, my face being very tight, and I'm not used to that because I've got oily skin. My face was very tight because the aloe was drawing moisture from inside my skin, and the compensation for that by my face was to produce sebum extra, and so I popped out. Pimples, I stopped using it on some but then the Lord, because I'm guided by the Lord, showed me, like literally I had a dream of an aloe plant sparkling. It was sparkling, like, you know, queen, like a diamond, like, you know, these Colgate commercials, these toothpaste commercials, and next thing you see a cling on there, like literally there was a cling on an aloe vera leaf. And I was like, Lord, you're showing me that this aloe vera leaf is my best friend, but it broke me out. And God basically was like, Karabo, you are not using the knowledge I've given you. You know that its properties are humectant in power. You can't just apply your nafela on your face, especially in a dry climate. It's going to draw moisture from your skin, and that's what's causing an overproduction of sebum, because your skin is trying to overcompensate for the loss of oils, and so you're going to get a breakout. You need to put something on top of it in order that it might nourish your skin, moisturize you, and have something to draw from all day long that you might be kept nice and supple. Aloe vera is also very hard knocking vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, natural antioxidant alongside an anti-aging agent type thing. So I then was like, okay, the Lord showed me that dream with the aloe leaf. Ever since that dream, I did not like use it. I was too scared. But then this time around, I was like, I gotta be serious about my skincare. God showed me a ding glowing aloe vera leaf in a dream, guiding me as to how to, like, listen, God has my back. I'm getting to a point there, all right, that in spite of my challenges, He has kept me, and He has also made sure that I don't lose that I don't lose my skin, that I don't lose my swag, my fantastic Hinamana thing that I'm doing, because I got some people that try to take that away, and the Lord is not interested that I should lose anything. Trample on serpents and scorpions and over the power of the enemy. Nothing shall by any means harm me. Anyway, moving on. So the aloe vera, I went back and I fished it. I was like, okay, I'm going to use it properly now. And now one needs a humectant on their face. I tried glycerin. Nobody's allergic to glycerin. Most people on the planet are not allergic to glycerin because it's naturally produced by everybody on the skin. Only a very tiny amount of people. Mara glycerin on my face. I don't necessarily get a bad reaction like a rash or whatever, so I'm not allergic. Mara, it just does. It this thing that acne. I can see why. Everybody else, but not me. I tried to use glycerin as a humectant before on its own, and I broke out. So I was like, okay, so I use the aloe vera as a humectant, and because it's got humectant properties, precisely because it has got humectant properties, is the reason why I keep it on my face. A lot of people wash it off just to get the nutrients in their skin. They use it as a mask, get the nutrients in their skin, and then wash it off. I keep it on because I want to keep the properties, the humectant properties in it, because I know that my skin, as oily as it is, still needs to be moisturized. And I put an occlusive on my face. That the only oil that I trust on my face is coconut oil. Strangely, like, because apparently it's like ridiculous, like it's very high its comedogenic score is way above 1, and for a person like me, there was a time when I was trying oil cleansing. That's dangerous, especially considering my oil skin type. My skin type is very oily, so I'm very high in, I think, oleic acid content, fatty acid content in my face versus linoleic, and that is the opposite. Coconut oil is the very opposite. And so to transfer that kind of very high oleic, like if an oil hardens, you know it's very high in oleic acids. That's the difference between margarine, you know how it can get like so super hard, and then there's butter. That's margarine, I believe, is the softer one that even in room temperature it's not hard, and then butter it's very hard even in room temperature. That's the difference between linoleic and oleic fatty acids. The higher the content of oleic acids, the more likely that there will be production of very solid hard oil rocking up on your face in the form of, lama bumps, lama pimples. So oily skin types need to be very careful with using oils and oil on their faces. Mara, they do recommend certain oils like that are lower that are higher in linoleic acid fatty content and lower in oleic, if not entirely absent of oleic fatty acid content. And so lighter oils like grapeseed oil are recommended. I tried oil cleansing that way, and I was not necessarily breaking out into ridiculous acne when I was on grapeseed oil, mixed with castor oil, which has got a relatively balanced mix between linoleic and oleic. It functions as a carrier. I did, however, get fungal acne, in that I broke out into those tiny little bumps, and oils are bad for people who struggle with fungal acne. So I stopped using oil cleansing, even though it made my skin feel so good. It made my skin feel like it made my skin feel good. It was so supple. Mara, I was getting those bumps, and that had to go. So I stopped that very, I found it so glamorous. Like, season of oil cleansing, I was using grapeseed oil and castor oil. That was my choice. And so I was very scared of coconut oil because it is not recommended at all for oily skin types. But then one day I went to Discam and I was like, extra virgin, I want you coconut oil. So I bought it for my hair, and then I decided to experiment with it on my face because I was watching there's one channel on YouTube, it's called Beauty Within. These two Asian chicks that cover basically skincare, and the one lady was like, look, if you've got oily skin and you're dealing with coconut oil, I wouldn't recommend you use it because it's very high, it's bad, it's not the right fatty acid ratio for an oily skin type. However, it is one of the baddest combatants in the game of P. acnes bacteria. Lauric acid, which is a compound found inside coconut oil, is apparently better at combating acne than benzoyl peroxide. And when she said that, I was like, benzoyl peroxide is Nzwembu. I know it. So if there's something better than benzoyl peroxide, I'm using it. And if it's cheaper as well, then I'm definitely using it, because for an entire tub, your coconut oil, I mean, goodness, you get so many more grams of coconut oil than you would for a similar price with benzoyl peroxide. So like, I was like, get Rezama, I'm gonna try it. It's also very high in vitamin E, it's anti-aging, it's bacterial, antifungal, all of these beautiful things. And so I was like, okay, look, I've got an oily skin type, and I have historically struggled with breaking out vibes when using oil cleansing. So instead of oil cleansing with coconut oil, I'm not oil cleanse, because oil cleansing you have to rub the stuff in your face, like it's a whole thing. I will rather use it as a moisturizer, and I will use a tiny amount. every day, as opposed to rubbing it in like I was with the coconut oil. Not coconut oil, sorry, with the grapeseed oil mixed with the castor oil. I will do oil cleansing that way. That was my decision. So, results. Results. I was shocked. Strangely, coconut oil does not work so well on my hair. It feels kind of dry and tacky, so I stopped using it for hair. An oil that I absolutely adore for the hair is olive, but coconut oil, now that I had decided that I'm not going to use it for my hair because I don't like the way it feels, everybody is a massive advocate for it. For me, I'm not personally trying to get it to anything. I then started using it for my face. And I was sitting there waiting for me to get like pimple and gaga because of it. And what happened was my skin started to glow day by day. It got brighter. I got more like, you know, a white. I was like, whoa. And I was using it alongside benzoyl peroxide with the cream. And it's like they were both combating my acne. Everything was just working so beautifully together. Everything. So I was like, yo, the coconut oil. It showed me some beautiful things. Like you have to, of course, experiment with it in your own personal life. Not young beragela, even though my skin is oily. So I'm benefiting then from that. That's the coconut oil. So that is the moisturizer that I've gone back to. I stopped using these things at some point for the caveman regimen. Used nothing at all because my face was not clearing entirely, or my hyperpigmentation was not fading fast enough. Plus affordability became an issue to continue to buy benzoyl peroxide. So I just like we had a season where I was like all over the show. I got this acne, and now I'm back to trying to get my skin back. Like, grab it. Anyway, whatever. So I then like made a decision this past weekend. Like literally, I'm back on my journey again. This past weekend, because I started looking like sandpaper. So no. So what then I'm now doing is applying aloe vera. I would love to get ACV, but I don't have it. That would be apple cider vinegar. So I'm using the onion as a toner now. That is dealing with the fungi and the bacteria. So whatever causes acne to rock up on the face, I believe that I don't know what's working on my acne between the onion and the aloe vera. I cannot tell you. Because both of them have got these properties, but I am using the aloe vera as a humectant, so it has to be a layer underneath my moisturizer. And the onion, I'm using it for the antifungal properties, and it's working like a gem. Do you understand? Now, the combination of the two, so I put the onion on my face. I don't intend to keep at this because I don't want to smell like onion for the rest of my life. So basically, what I need is a dermatologist, but until then, I gotta preserve my skin, right? This is not sustainable to be putting onion on your face every day, and unless you hate to smell like that every day. I barely go anywhere. So for those reasons, I can afford to just kind of hang around smelling like onion myself. I've got nobody to impress, a type establishment thing. But I do have skin to preserve. I have to keep myself ensconced here, most like a home. So, Gisebenza onion as a toner. Not sustainable indefinitely, but definitely worth it as a short-term remedy for really bad acne, and especially if that acne is fungal. If it is Malassezia folliculitis, it's worth your while to go on this journey for just a week. And thereafter, like, continue with your normal thing. But ideally, since you're likely going to break out again if you stop using the onion, you should probably just go see a dermatologist who will prescribe an antifungal for you, type thing that is as impactful, if not more impactful, than onion. So the onion is operating as an antifungal. The aloe vera is operating as an humectant, anti-aging, alongside antibacterial, and potentially antifungal too. I do believe it also has those properties. And then there's the coconut oil, which also is like a big fat puncher in the face of P. acnes bacteria. I use it as a moisturizer. That's what my humectant is drawing from. The moisture, it's drawing from there, right? My skin does not feel tight or oily all day long. Sorry, not oily, what do you call this? Dry all day long. And it's the layer that is on the surface of my face that also has got anti-aging properties. Coconut oil is wonderful when it comes to aging as well. And that is what it is that I put on the surface, and that's it. I have no sunscreen, and the day might arrive when I do get it, but right now, everything is hot. Okay, this is how it is that my skin is therefore recovering. I come from a rough patch with acne, and it appears finally I am onto something. Finally, I'm onto something. But like I said, it's not sustainable. Aloe vera, I will always use it because it doesn't leave a smell, but I would rather buy the gel at the market. I would rather, because South Africa doesn't sell that for whatever reason. They don't sell the leaf, okay? But the aloe leaf is very bitter, so if you apply it on your face and it's around your lip area and it touches your lip, you be licking your lips on some trying to be sexy or whatever, and you like, it just tastes, it's just really poignant, okay? It's not poisonous, there are people who can eat it, but if at all it is produced for consumption by consumers in the market, they do extract the bitterness out of it. So you can get aloe vera juice, you get aloe vera gel in the store that you can use for your face or whatever. With this came, I know they sell it, and I would imagine it doesn't have a funny taste, that bitter taste, even if you swipe it past your lips, right? Also, this like lip therapy also has aloe extract in it. Now this is olive, not aloe, sorry, but even if something has got aloe extract, it doesn't taste funny. This has got aloe extract in it. So I think what I will do in the future in terms of aloe, if I want to use it on my face, I would have to go and buy it at the store, because there's a process in manufacturing that even if it's 100% aloe vera, they find a way to extract that bitterness out of it. You mistakenly put it on your lips if you lick your lips, you ain't gonna be like, what just happened type thing. So aloe I will always use. Onion, perhaps maybe for my hair after a couple of days, a day or two, to my sugar. Mara onion, I would much rather eat it because that helps. You can eradicate it in your mouth as a smell, but you cannot eradicate it, for crying out loud, off your hands unless you stop using it for a couple of days. Like onion smell, it will after a day or 2 or 3. John always says every day. It's like what? It's like her hair even worse. And no, who does that, right? So onion will have to stop, but then I'm gonna have to find an antifungal perpetually. Look, I just need to go and see a dermatologist. Then a lot of these things I will stop doing, but I will never stop with aloe because of its humectant and anti-aging properties. And I will also never stop with coconut oil because it's just been such an excellent moisturizer for me. You know, dermatologists, I've been to a dermatologist before and they've recommended for me moisturizers, especially during the time when I was put on raw Accutane, and that was not necessary for my skin type. I did not have that kind of bad acne, but nonetheless they put me on raw Accutane, and I was on it for like 6 months, whatever, it cleared my skin, and my skin stayed clear for about 5 years thereafter, and then, you know, life happened, and stress happened, so now I look like this, whatever. Okay, fine. So the dermatologist during the time when I was on Accutane, because of how drying it is, recommended Cetaphil products for me, and I dumped them within like 3 weeks. Because I was dry, like all over. I was still dry. What did I do? Because I was innovative like that. And like at Body Shop, there's no body butter that beats Body Shop's body butter when it comes to moisture. I bought Justine's tissue oil, mixed it with my body butter, and that kept me so supple and moist during the driest time of my life. Raw Accutane. And then most fashionable, recommended some lip therapy thing, and I was like, whatever. Got Baby Bum Gel, the Panthen, alongside Guinea, the Clinique Lilac, the 2 of them, my lips were looking like that throughout my journey of Rex. So I never went through a dry spell, even once. Like people's horror stories on Oratane or Accutane, I actually think I was on Oratane, the generic. I did not experience them like at all. The depression, the moods. I was working, I was busy, ain't got no time for that. Like, I don't know, maybe I was a little bit moody. I don't remember being moody. I was born again. Holy Spirit plans. In His presence is fullness of joy. I never got those side effects at all. I lost a bit of weight though. I lost weight, no, but the reason I lost weight was because I stopped taking the pill. Because I'd come out of a relationship, I wasn't sexually active anymore. So I stopped taking the pill. That I think is what caused me weight loss, not so much the Oratane. You know, Diane, I was on Diane, and I just went as soon as I got off it. So I don't think that was that other than weight loss, which likely was not a side effect of Oratane, but from getting off the pill, I never experienced anything else because I found alternatives to recommended products by the dermatologist that did not work as well as as I would have loved them to do. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that God gave everybody a brain, okay? And these guys who went to school to study medicine and then become dermatologists were given a desire with those brains to go and study skin in particular. But you also have a brain and you have your own body and you know what works out for you. So even if a dermatologist recommends something, you don't gotta stick to it. The Cetaphil did not work for me, and so what I'll do, I went to Body Shop, and I've never heard of a dermatologist recommending Body Shop products to a person, but they are super moisturizing on their own. I went and over and above that added tissue oil, and I would moisturize umzimba wam wonke with that, like including the tissue oil. Like my face was so dry that I was like, this thing, I'm gonna be looking like Iskopotwani. So I used like a dab of my body butter every day, and I put it on my face. And because Oratane deals by a massive reduction of oil production in your body, a reduction of that, because that's what Oratane does, it did not cause me to break out putting tissue oil on my face. And believe me, even after I got off the Oratane, I continued to use my body butter as a moisturizer on my face, and I didn't break out. But maybe that's because I was also using benzoyl peroxide. My acne only came back after 5 years, but I attribute the return to also lots and lots of freaking stress. There's only so much your body can handle. Ultimately, my body was like, hey, Galabo, you're going through too much. And then it like kicked out like acne out of my face. But I did really well for a while, and my skin was just like top-notch type establishment thing. So now what I am on is basically what it is that I'm learning works for me. So even if I go to a dermatologist, I will still use what in the world it is that I want to use. If they recommend Cetaphil, I'm not going to use it because it's never worked for me, but I do know what works for me. I do know what works for me in terms of moisture. I just need the medication to get rid of the excessive oil production, and also the medication to get rid of the hyperpigmentation once and for all permanently, potentially the medication to get rid of any of the other acne scarring that I might have on my face, to smooth out and regenerate my skin back to where it is that it needs to be. But more than that, I will likely still continue to use what it is that I'm already using because it's worked out for me. So I am my own dermatologist now, or I've got a brain. I didn't go to med school, but I've got a brain and I've got the internet and we can learn type establishment things. So the tyrosinase inhibition, I believe, is in the onion. It might be the aloe, because I did dream about it looking all stellar. But a combination is fading my scars. It's fast. Like this here was a very dark spot. Not dark, sorry, it was a new pimple. And usually my new pimples look dark, like really dark. Like they look really, really, really dark. And there must be therefore something that is operating as a tyrosinase inhibitor in my skin. Well, not internally. It also cannot be internal because I've been fasting. So because I've been fasting, we can successfully extract out of this particular experiment or hypothesis, out of this vacuum, food as having reduced overall inflammation and also reduced overall tyrosinase in the body, the enzyme. It can't be food because I have not been eating for my face and my skin. I've just been eating one meal a day because I'm fasting. You know what I mean? And yes, the meal is healthy, but it's still not all the nutrients I need per day. So having extracted food or dealing with stuff from the inside out of the equation, we can successfully reach a conclusion that my face is getting fixed by what I'm putting on it topically. And I believe therefore that there are some tyrosinase inhibition powers in onion and some maybe in aloe vera, but I do believe that the main ingredient here that's really doing it well for me is onion. And the thing about onion is it is combating fungal acne because it's an antifungal, very potent. That's why it doesn't rot on the counter, mokichini. It is inhibiting tyrosinase. It is also clearing, lightening. So those marks that were already there, so already the melanocytes were active and they were fading. It's fading that. My new routine is fading. It's lightening the existing marks, and the one that was supposed to become really dark, this one over here, it was supposed to become really dark. It's not. It's almost as if though the tyrosinase has been inhibited through the onion. It's just, or the melanocytes. I don't know whether it is, because why it is that a melanocyte would be so dark is because of hyperactive tyrosinase. So maybe onion is a tyrosinase inhibitor. I don't know, I'd have to find out. But it's the only solution that I can come up with. It's the only excuse or reason that I can manufacture right now. Onion is a tyrosinase inhibitor, and it also is a cell regenerator and a lightener. It's a lightener, it's a brightener of skin in the sense that it removes dark spots without making you a yellow bone, because we're not into skin whitening, we're into acne eradicating, hyperpigmentation removing vibes, right? So if you want to go become a yellow bone, you're gonna have to go and see some dude for that, okay? That's not what I'm doing here. I'm a dark girl, frankly. I love my skin. Check it. Don't do it. It's gonna age you prematurely. Just go check out these chicks in South Africa. You don't even have to go very far. How it is that they are our age and they already look 45. It's skin lightening. It's skin lightening. I attribute it to skin lightening and also excessive use of makeup. But anyway, whatever. So this stuff operates and it's natural, so barely any side effects, and it'll get rid of your texture. A lot of the reason why anybody at all has texture on the face is because of fungi. It's these bumps that are all over the show. Onion will get rid of that texture, but I'm not saying go for onion, go for sulfur. If you can afford to buy MSM, go get it, or go to a dermatologist to get you a product that has sulfur in it, or look actively on the shelves of Dis-Chem, Clicks or whatever, some pharmaceutical. Look for something that has got sulfur in it, and or anything that says antifungal. Some people use antifungal shampoo that's for hair on their faces if they've got fungal acne. That could work as well to be an alternative. Nizzerol, I believe, or Niz. I think South Africa has Niz. Was it Nizzerol? I don't know. It's not very cheap, but a little goes a long way. Those are some of the things that can be recommended, or you can just go on the internet and type in antifungal shampoo, and it'll pop up what it is that you can use. So don't just use anything that's sitting there for you to use. Just be careful to also see if maybe a dermatologist or an esthetician recommends it on the internet, because I have a thing about listening to information coming from anyone other than professionals only. You have to listen to a combination of people, but make sure that among them are pros. Right, so that's what it is that's going on here. Something good is happening with Saga. So what is the moral of the story? I look like this because Jesus made sure that I don't look anything but like this, due to the fact that being bullied in order to capitulate to some random frantic agenda of a perverted generation, it's just not an option. I chose Christ. I didn't choose ancestors. I didn't choose witchcraft. I didn't choose boyfriends to help me. I have a Messiah. His name is Jesus, and he has not only rescued me on big matters like facing death, but he's also rescued me from trivial ones, like facing such bad skin conditions that it would cause permanent scarring on my face. Every time I look in the mirror, literally, I get knocked down and I get up again. You're never going to bring me low. The Lord has literally been pedantic to care for the smallest of my worries, including showing me a sparkling aloe leaf in a dream to show me that don't write it off, you're just not using it right. That is the level of care and carefulness that Christ has for me. It is written in his word that we must cast our burdens on him, for he cares for us, and that if we commit our lives to him, he will give us the desires of our heart. And he saw that my heart was broken over my skin, and so he got me all educated. He got me all trained on skin. He got me all trained on the body. He got me to survive affliction, abuse, and basically irresponsibility with my life by people. He got me to survive it by teaching me how to eat, teaching me how to take care of my face, my skin, and teaching me how to grow my body. I used to be kind of like wobbly-legged, wobbly-kneed, and kind of jelly-legged in terms of my constitution, the texture of I used to be kind of jelly, like a typical black girl. And I have firmed, I have toned, and I haven't arrived. I'm on the way, but I have gotten to where I have gotten without gym membership. I've gotten to where I have gotten without much space to work out in. I have literally been restricted, and with the little bitness that I have, Christ has given me prolific results. He has given me excellent results in everything I try. It has not all been successful the first time around. And with my skin, it's been a journey of like 2 years, a year and a half to 2 years. That's when I started getting some like horrific acne on my face. It's been, maybe not say 2 years, but like about a year and a half. That's when I started to just like all of a sudden my skin was like, I'm no longer gonna respond to benzoyl peroxide alone. And I was like, you don't get to like just what, like no. And so that's when I started watching a whole bunch of videos on YouTube from dermatologists and regular Jades and Joes on the street alike as to what to do with my skin. And trial and error has gotten me to this place. With my hair, never knew how to cornrow, had to teach myself by watching tutorials on YouTube. How to cornrow. Basically, I never knew how to flat twist. I couldn't take care of my natural afro because I had a stylist that could do everything for me once upon a time. So that ravenous mania afro that I used to have all gone down. So there was a time when she's gone, but like bald. Okay, so I get why Will Smith done slapped Chris Rock, because when a woman loses her hair, it's a real challenge. Okay, it's a problem. It hurts. And I had this like freaking prolific afro that was gonna just go from strength to strength, and I wanted to get like that big bushy hair looking like Pro Tusi or whatever, and all that I lost it because 4C hair, it's a lot of work. Like our hair texture, it's cruise hard nothing. These coils, yes, like it Gunzima to keep it like fresh. And I had a stylist that knew how to handle my hair, and for years I went to her, and my hair was cool. She like did it like she knew how to handle washing it, blow drying it, plaiting it, everything. And then I was left stranded with just me and my hair, and I didn't know how to deal, and it just kept falling off. And this happened over about a year, and then I started to like relax. I hated how thin and fluffy my hair was looking, so I shaved it off, guys, and she's gone. I from scratch. I was struggling. Every day, picking it afro comb. The amount of hair in my comb was just ridiculous. I was just like, what in the world, what's going on? Eventually, I prospered to grow a small little afro by doing one low manipulation hairstyle per week and washing it, but I was still combing it shoko. And I was like, but why isn't it growing as fast as it used to back in the day? Until then, the Lord led me onto YouTube to watch what it is that these women do. And I realized that I was that's why it's breaking, it's 4C, it's coiled. You can't just some like flames type thing. So I stopped doing that, and I started training myself, literally watching videos very carefully. And it took a minute, but I finally grasped how to cornrow. And even though I'm not perfect at it, I know how to cornrow, I know how to flat twist now. And I went from then knowing how to cornrow and flat twist to knowing how to install hair. Like, I bought a crochet hook, and I'm gonna do a crochet hairstyle this weekend, and I'm gonna show it to you. Type establishment thing. And like, so I know how to put a protective style on my head. Basically going back to the way that I used to grow my hair back in the day, where I would put it behind a hairstyle for a month, and then remove it once a month, wash it, do a treatment, and then put a protective style, and it grew that way. But I've decided that I'm going to keep my protective styles for 2 months now as opposed to 1, because I hooked up a whole linear regression constraint set model, I kid you not, that's the shape of a pentagon, to determine what is the right amount of time to wait for a protective style based on my own hair growth. And yeah, anyway, I'm a nerd. Moving on, fine, so I did that, and so this hairstyle that you're looking at, it's after now, and my afro has grown phenomenally ever since then. But during the time when I was trying to teach myself how to cornrow, as soon as I grasped how to do my first cornrow, I kept on bringing it down, trying again, bring it down, and I would cornrow my hair about 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, it broke like no man's business. It got all thin and fluffy, and relax. I was like, oh my goodness, no. So I had to again bring it down to 0. So about 6 months ago, I had a TWA Ngaga, a teeny weeny afro egana, and the first hairstyle that I did on it were braids that I was trained how to do on YouTube using the rubber band method. And ever since then, my afro has grown, and it has grown astronomically in the past 6 months in comparison to the past 6 years, because I've been in a dingy hole for about 8 years. For the past 6 years, my hair has grown very slowly because of me not knowing how to handle my own hair, but I finally taught myself how to do hair, and now I can do my own hair. I can install braids, I can install weaves, I can, like, yeah, I'm that girl, okay, like, I've arrived type thing. So I do my own hair now, and the day will never come when I go to a stylist anymore. Why? Because I know how to do my own hair now, and you know how to take care best of your own hair. Plus, I've decided that, unlike before where I used to put heat on my hair, like via blow dry once a month, I'm no longer ever going to do that again. I finger detangle only because I want my hair to get like ridiculous. Okay, I want it to get ridiculously like gargantuan, and it's going there. So right now, my afro, maybe it's about that big. Yeah, in comparison to the way that it's been, and it's gonna keep growing. So after a year, I hope to basically be at like about that big. Like, yeah, by the end of this year, it's 2022. I want my afro to be about that big, and I'm striving for like this big. And then after 2 years, I want a mane. And so that's why I've been measuring and what have you, and I'm headed for that. That is what it is that Christ has used in order to enable me to stay strong, to realize I still have a future. He's kept my skin beautiful, he's kept me beautiful, he's taught me how to grow my hair, he's helped me build my body, he has taught me how to eat for my body, he has taught me everything I need in order to live a life in godliness. He has kept me preserved Like pickles maharaja, they can stay on the shelf for 1 year and you can still eat it like ili fresh after jara. The Lord has preserved me after 8 years of persecution and suffering. I am looking, never mind as good as I did prior to falling off the bandwagon, but I'm looking better because I never had a body like this before. Haven't aged a day. The only challenge I've got right now is that we just need to fade this hyperpigmentation. We just need to make sure that the dark spots that have been left by acne fade. And once that's faded, it's going to be like I never ever left. It's going to be like I never ever was compromised. That is the glory of worshipping Christ and Christ only, and not Christ with disangoma, Christ with witchcraft, Christ with Buddha, Christ with all different kinds of other things that people worship, Christ with the New Age and the occult, Christ with crystals, Christ with tarot cards and Ouija boards, and just Jesus alone is the only way, the only truth, the only life. And if you hold on to him that fervently without choosing other masters, no servant can serve two masters. You will either love the one or hate the other. Choose him and run with him only, and he will survive you through the worst of times. I am like Job, having lost everything, come out on the other side, however, 100% spotless. Job also had a skin condition where he was scraping his wounds off with a glass bottle, not glass bottle, but with pottery. I got acne, and the Lord is helping me conquer that. And finally, I've decided to come and speak because my life conditions are ridiculous and I'm facing death, basically. And if I don't fight for my future, I die. You don't get to kill all this. I did not just build my body. How long have I been working out for? Started out just doing 20 minutes a day. Now I'm working out anything from 1.5 to 2.5 hours every single weekday. On weekends, I take a break. And I started doing this about 3 years ago. I started working out 3 years ago, very light, low-key, low-level. I wasn't eating for exercise though. I only started seeing some ridiculous, like phenomenal results when it comes to muscle mass building, when I started to actually study as well what it takes to build muscle. And it's protein and it's carbo loading. So the past 3 to 4 months, the past 3 to 4 months in Zigeja for exercise, and the results in just the past 4 months have been staggering in comparison to all 3 years in Zigeja. 3 years. I've been, when did I, like 2.5 hours worth of exercise per day during the day, 5 days a week is what I've been doing, and I have gradually been developing muscle. I've stayed thin as a result. I haven't ever been fat. Like if anything, there was a time when I was like almost like I looked anorexic. The way Nikki Chimaga thing, so I have basically gradually, only very ever so like gradually like grown firm in terms of like toning and all that jazz. But in the past 4 months, because I started to guzzle, like I started to eat, I started like to a point where sometimes I feel like shooty, like breakfast, wait a couple hours before exercise, the amount of energy that I have on the dance floor, and the results were staggering. My butt grew, my thighs grew, like literally everything that I wanted, finally I'm getting it. And the Lord is the one that trained me. He taught me, he educated me, he instructed me. Crank cat, what do you want? I also have a cat. He Lontuza. Okay. The Lord has taught me how to eat for exercise to see results. So I carb load a whole bunch. Like right now, I'm back on eating, and I'm so grateful because it was so strenuous. This was the most strenuous fast I've had. Maybe it's because it's been a very tough time. Crank cat, your food is in the kitchen. Oh, move your tail out the way. Yeah. Your food is in the kitchen. You know where to find your food. I'll just stand there. Whatever. Anyway, so the cat is confused. Usually I put her food there, but the thing was empty, so I have to go and refill. Yeah, go find your food in the kitchen, mom. Anyway, fine. Yes, what was I saying? Yes, the Lord trained me how to eat for working out, for exercise, and it grew my muscle girth and my butt grew, guys. You know, I think my butt getting big. I thought I needed weights in order to thicken more. I wanted to thicken, I wanted to get firmer, and I thought that I needed to lift weights at the gym. All I needed to do was actually start eating for exercise, because the body needs to get fuel somewhere, and when the muscles repair after working out, there needs to be some deposits that they can grab from in order to fuel that whole exercise, that whole process. And so I therefore started eating, and as soon as I started eating like a lot for breakfast, I noticed that I got thicker in the places that I wanted to get thick in. What do you call this thing? Yes, what I eat for breakfast. I literally have a bowl of muesli. I have a mild case of lactose intolerance, and I was making my own rice milk until, like, you know, things happened and I was not able to continue doing that anymore. Mara, I now just add a little bit of milk anyway with some yogurt. Non-vegan. I'm not vegan, but I prefer vegan alternatives when it comes to milk because they tend to be dairy-free. But I'm eating dairy, even though it gives me grief. It can also cause inflammation on the face, but that's all I have at the present moment. So I have my muesli, just a small amount of muesli, and I mix my muesli with all bran flakes, just a small amount for the fiber, and then I add the milk and the yogurt. So I would sprinkle cinnamon if I have it available. I then also have however many fruit are in the refrigerator. I will chop them half. So if there are 4 or 5 types of fruit, I will have 4 or 5 types of fruit in my fruit bowl, and I will chop them in half so I don't have like just these massive portions, and I'll eat the other half the next day. And then I have an egg. 2 eggs actually. 2 eggs with lots of onion in them, and that's breakfast. Literally 2 eggs. I make an omelet using 2 eggs. I eat that cereal. I eat like a man now, okay? And those fruit, and that's what I use to fuel my exercise. And I've gotten my thighs, you know. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. And then I don't eat again until dinner because I literally don't have anywhere to slip in eating. I'm busy. I'm busy, believe it or not. Even though I'm unemployed, I'm very busy. I do this every day. And what do you call this? And then for dinner, I have what's cooked. Usually there's a few veggies on my plate. There's like mashed potato, peas, there's cabbage, there's spinach, depending really, like tomato. So just a relatively balanced meal, protein in the form of chicken type thing. And then acha. I know, Shem, I'm not sparing with acha. I also put acha in my omelette. I get like it's bicycle when it comes to nyayidla. Why? Because to me, yes, all those trans fats are ridiculous. But acha in a mango, acha in a fenugreek, acha in a carrots. It's got so many like great ingredients, and fenugreek is a hair powerhouse, just by the way. So I slather that stuff on my meals, and for me it's like the fact I'm not worried about gaining weight. I'm just worried about inflammation in my body that will cause acne, because I don't gain weight. Like literally I work out too much, my metabolism is too strong for me. Like I don't, if anything, I struggle to lose weight, not sorry, to gain. I've been wanting to gain weight so I could get thicker thighs. I easily lose weight, but I don't very easily gain it, and I've been trying to gain it. That's why I eat so much. It's my genes. Anyway, whatever, fine. So I eat, then all that, and it helps with my body, and then I replenish later on. There are these drinks that I used to drink, but you know, recently I've just not been able to get around to doing them. But I mix basically all different kinds of these like powerhouse superfoods in there, like moringa, I add spirulina, I add chia seeds, I add linseed, I add ginger. I did mention ginger, didn't I? Cinnamon. I add tea bag, Ceylon tea, like white dude, 5 roses illy. Like I spill out the tea bag and I put it in that drink. Fenugreek is in there. I'm trying to think what else do I typically have in these drinks, but it's like some drink powerhouse, and I have it twice a day. First thing in the morning, and then again just before dinner. And that, I believe, drink also contributed to lots and lots of my hair growth, but it's also a protein powerhouse. It's like a protein shake, a cheap version, because you buy these ingredients and you just use a tiny little amount a day, and I make them chill in the fridge for about a day before I can drink it, because fenugreek needs to be, you know, steeped first in some hot water for like a couple of hours before it can be good for you. Chia seeds, you can't just eat them zinjalo. They might give you problems, digestive issues, swelling in your belly. Yeah, stuff like that. You get my point. And linseed has to be ground. Blah blah blah. Wada. So that's basically what I've been doing, and all that has contributed to this lady looking as fresh and as fly as she can possibly look all these years down the line at 37. And I ain't going nowhere. It's that basic. And I will continue to give this testimony. The only reason why I am giving this elaborate explanation here is because I tend to share this content on Facebook. Otherwise, I've been explaining this a lot off camera, offline. This is my life. This is how I've been living, and this is how I've kept myself in a bunch. And I will still keep myself in a bunch. And I finally decided to come out and try and make some money, because I gave people a chance to turn, to repent, to do better, and they chose not to. So I realized I'm on my own, and because I'm on my own, I cannot for the life of me just sit around watching my skin get scarred by acne, and me be restricted in terms of what I can do with my body, because I only have a tiny little space within which to exercise, and also me be restricted in terms of what nutrients I bring in my body, because I now don't have money in order to buy ginger. Like, it's literally that bad. So I'm deciding to start a movement. Not so much a movement as it is. I need to make money so I can come back and get my own back, and also fight those randoms at MTN. I'm not done. I'm suing. So that's my story. Christ got this. But when Jesus was resurrected from the dead, what makes you think his disciples don't get to do stuff like that? That's what I'm gonna say. I need to eat now. It's 15:32. It's a little late for me to start eating, but you know, your life later.